We begin today's wrestling news and rumors video with some major news regarding Brock Lesnar, and clearly WWE are already planning the Beast Incarnate's retirement from the company. Now there have been rumors and rumblings that Brock Lesnar could have been retiring from WWE for quite some time, and Lesnar has come and gone from WWE quite a bit over the past couple of years, but recent backstage reports have indicated that Brock Lesnar may finally be getting close to finishing off his wrestling career in WWE, with the 45-year-old Lesnar likely to be hanging up the boots once and for all, following WrestleMania 40 next year in early April. According to one of our sources, Brock Lesnar had signed a one-year contract extension recently, which would extend his career in WWE until WrestleMania 40, with a report detailing that it will be 5 matches for Lesnar throughout the next year, with the final Brock Lesnar appearance culminating at WrestleMania 40. The rumor goes on to mention that this will be Brock Lesnar's final contract with WWE, meaning that despite the insane amount of money that Brock Lesnar makes in WWE each year, he plans to retire from wrestling next year in 2024, after wrestling one final time at WrestleMania. Brock Lesnar is currently feuding with Cody Rhodes heading into the Backlash 2023 Premium Live event, but backstage rumors suggest that the Rhodes and Lesnar feud will only be short-lived, and WWE have some rather interesting final plans for Lesnar heading into WrestleMania 40, and some fans may find these rumored plans for Brock Lesnar to be sad news, as Brock will likely be putting over an up-and-coming prospect at the Showcase of the Immortals next year. There is new backstage speculation that Vince McMahon and Triple H plan for Brock Lesnar to put over newcomer Gable Steveson at WrestleMania 40 in his final WWE match. Reports had went around a few months ago that indicated Gable Steveson will be making his in-ring debut in WWE very soon, sometime between now and SummerSlam, and this is what Gable Steveson had to say about his impending WWE debut in a recent interview last month. Quote, "I'm pretty close to debuting and being on screen. I'm just waiting for that call and waiting for that time. Some days it's stressful because I never know when it will come, and I'm used to amateur wrestling where it's like, hey, we have the Olympics in 3 months, or we have the Olympic trials in 2 months, be ready for it. Right now you're going through the motions with no goal, and I wish I could have that goal in sight and put forth and give people real answers when I'm debuting, but it will be coming really, really soon. And when I mean really, really soon, probably after WrestleMania, or just a little bit after that. I think being able to understand that this game is different and it's a process, and I'm going to follow the process the right way and just keep moving forward." Now clearly WWE think very highly of Gable Steveson if the company are legitimately planning for Brock Lesnar to close out his wrestling career by putting over Gable at WrestleMania 40, and put over the up-and-coming star in his farewell retirement match. But let us know down in the comment section below if you feel Gable Steveson deserves the rub, so to speak, and be the one to retire Brock Lesnar from WWE. Or should this honor go to another superstar on the WWE roster? Regardless, the heartbreaking news is that Brock Lesnar's nearly finished in WWE as an in-ring performer, and will wrestle his final match at next year's WrestleMania 40 event. And let us know if you guys will be sad to see Brock Lesnar retire from WWE next year, and do you feel like Lesnar should have one final run as a world champion, or continue his run of non-title major storylines leading up to his impending retirement? Now we have some breaking news regarding a huge change to WWE that Triple H may be implementing in the near future following the 2023 WWE Draft. With Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown set to get an equal number of draft picks this year, as opposed to the way WWE have done it in the past, with Raw getting 3 picks and SmackDown getting 2, there is a new behind-the-scenes speculation going around that Triple H is teasing that Friday Night SmackDown may become a 3-hour show like Monday Night Raw, following the 2023 WWE Draft. This would certainly be a big change to WWE, and while there could certainly be benefits from Triple H and Vince McMahon making SmackDown a 3-hour show like Raw, there are definitely some drawbacks as well, because wrestling fans have complained in the past about Monday Night Raw being a 3-hour show, with common complaints being that the show simply drags on too long with many meaningless filler segments, and that by the 3rd hour of the show, things are getting a bit boring and stale and fans tune out. The concern is that WWE may have issues trying to create an extra hour of intriguing television on Friday Night SmackDown if the blue brand follows in the footsteps of Monday Night Raw and becomes a 3-hour program. And overall, a lot of fans seemingly preferred SmackDown because it was 2 hours and was more action-packed with interesting segments, matches, and storylines, compared to Raw, which was often drawn and stretched out. Even major superstar Seth Rollins shared his opinion about the fact that he felt the 3-hour Raw was obnoxiously long. Quote, "I think a 3-hour show is just obnoxiously long every week. It's just everything gets stretched out, you know? You've got to fill 3 hours of television, there's just nothing to be done. That's just how it is. So I think 2 hours is a beautiful number in a pro wrestling show. And I think it's easier to make everything mean a little bit more. On SmackDown, when I was there last year, I hardly even wrestled on television, and so it was kind of a big deal. You look at Roman, he hardly ever wrestles on television, so when he has matches at these pay-per-views, they just feel like big deals. And on Raw, I've wrestled like 26 5-star matches in the last 2 months. It's just been wild with the amount of actual wrestling that I have to do, and I'd love to avoid that. But it is what it is. I like the fact that I get a lot more screen time on Mondays because you have that extra hour, but it is an apple to oranges type of thing. I do think 3 hours is just a lot to ask every week of a viewer. Clearly, overexposure is something that fans and wrestlers will be worried about if Friday Night SmackDown does indeed join the ranks of Raw in becoming a 3-hour program, but this could be a major change to WWE that Triple H plans to implement in the near future, following the 2023 WWE Draft. And let us know down in the comment section below if you support the idea of SmackDown becoming a 3-hour show like Raw, or do you feel like SmackDown should remain a 2-hour program, regardless of the equal draft picks this year? Friday Night SmackDown sort of stood out from Raw because of the shorter run timing, and it did seem like many fans preferred the way SmackDown's laid out as a show compared to Raw. However, there are some good things that could come from a longer 3-hour SmackDown, as matches can be longer, mid-card talent could receive more screen time when they otherwise would have been left off a 2-hour show, and more focus could be put on the SmackDown's women's division as well, not to mention having more time to build up all the storylines and feuds on the blue brand. But again, give us your thoughts on Triple H's possible big change to WWE of SmackDown becoming 3 hours in the near future. And would this be a positive change in your opinion, or something that Triple H and WWE should refrain from doing? But regardless, clearly SmackDown could be changing in a huge way moving forward, and could be following in the footsteps of Raw becoming a 3-hour program each and every week. But SmackDown has been getting some great roster picks already, so perhaps a 3-hour show could benefit the entire new SmackDown roster.